Welcome all to another episode of your favorite podcast, Targo. That's a sexy looking shirt, my dude.
Thanks. I had a buddy give it for me for my birthday coming up.
Yeah, man, it looks good. But how are you doing other than looking sexy?
Doing good. Doing much better than I was the other day after our beer fest we went to.
Yeah, man, some good beers, some really bad ones, but it was fun. It was fun. So, on the wake of that, what you drinking today?
I got a new one today.
Okay.
This one's Pen Cove Brewing Company Honeymoon Bay Pale Ale.
Nice.
So we see what it tastes like.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Oh.
One for me and one for my homies.
That's pretty much how it went. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I probably would not get it again.
Okay. Fair. I'm going to butcher the name of this one. Frem. Pfriem. Yeah. It's from Hood River. It's Pilsner. But I like it because it's got a little bear. Looks like Smokey. I've never had this one either. But after this weekend, I needed something lighter. So
I believe it, man. I believe it. How's our Smokey the Bear beer?
it's not smoky. Tastes like a Pilsner. Just your run-of-the-mill Pilsner. It's good on a hot, refreshing day. So,
Hopefully we got some hot days coming up here soon.
yeah, it's supposed to be in the 80s here this weekend. So, anyways, those are our brews. Let's get some banter. Welcome to Brews and Banter. We got a lot of games to go through. A lot to cover today. Yeah, so everything we're going to cover, Europa League, 420 to 423 review, preview, the midweek games, including the big one, Manchester City against Arsenal, and then a combined 11 from those two teams because kind of have to. So let's get right into it. Before we do, make sure to check out our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Redbubble. So you get our fun stickers, merch, fun shirts, the whole 9 yards. So without further ado, Europa League Quarterfinal second legs. On the 19th, we had AS Roma against Feyenoord. This one ended 4-1, but Feyenoord were up 1-0 at halftime. And I was like, yeah, smooth sailing. I got this one right.
Want to bet?
Come halfway through that second half, man, it was a whole nother story. And Jose Mourinho with another coaching masterclass.
The end of this game was crazy because it went to overtime.
Yeah.
And then Roma got a couple goals in overtime.
Yeah. Credit to Roma because Feyenoord looked exhausted towards the end of the game, especially the 90 minutes. Getting into extra time, they looked like they were not going to create anything.
No, like I said, the last 10, like if you only want to watch this game, just watch the last 10 minutes and the extra time, honestly. That's where it gets real good.
Yeah, it really did. You picked Roma, I picked Feyenoord, so credit to you. It seems to be a theme in European competitions this season. So, yeah, beginning of the first half, all Roma. Feyenoord grew into the game as the half went on. Spinazzola leveled the aggregate score on 60 minutes after a wonderful throw-in routine. And then Roma had a second through Tammy Abraham.
They thought they had a second.
Tammy Abraham was offsides by his shoelaces, pretty much.
No, he got called back for a foul.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a different one. Igor Paichau put Feyenoord ahead on aggregate on the 80th minute with a wonderful header and some poor marking from Roma. He was wide open for that header.
Like in the box, too, like completely all by himself. I don't know. I know Jose Mourinho won't be happy about that defending.
Not at all. He'd be happy about the result, but not the defending in that moment. So, as you can tell, that was the 80th minute. So it was late. Feyenoord thinking they're going to win. Come the 89th minute, La Hoja, Paulo Dybala got the goal to level it for Roma, and that's why they got him. Pay him the big bucks because he had a brilliant turn and just thrashed the ball across the net.
Oh, it was a beauty, man. Yeah. I mean, that's why you get big name players like Paulo Dybala.
Yeah. So it's tied 2-2 on aggregate. Roma get their third through Stephen El Shawari after a wonderful run and cross by Tammy Abraham in the 101st minute. And then Roma put the tie beyond doubt in the 109th. Terrible square pass by Feyenoord. Roma just pretty much walking it in. Tammy Abraham had a shot saved. And Pellegrini tapped it in the net. That's all she wrote. Yeah. Feyenoord got a red card late, but what a last 10 minutes plus extra time. It was
fantastic. It was a wild game. I mean, Roma were pushing for it, obviously.
So yeah, and they had to.
They did. They were down a goal going into this, or it was tied or something?
Yeah, it was
1-1. So
1-1. Yeah.
The Romans in Rome.
It was 1-0. Yeah. Because Feyenoord won 1-0 in the first leg. Anyways. Next up.
I'm not gonna lie though, I was worried going into this game. I thought maybe Feyenoord could pull it off.
I was pretty confident, not gonna lie.
Especially after 80th minute and you're up a goal, huh?
Yeah. But I was wrong. Just like this next one. Union Saint-Gilloise against Bayer Leverkusen. You know, first leg was close. This one was far from it. 4-1 to Leverkusen. And it really was never close because Moussa Diaby put Leverkusen up after 66 seconds. Yeah,
they got off to a quick start.
Yeah. It was 2-0 before 40 minutes with Michael Bakar. 37th minute. Adam was at Hlozik. Beautiful.
Yep, something like that.
Beautiful cross. Bakar tapped it in. And then Jeremy Frimpong gets his third on after Bakar put it on a platter for him.
Big fan of that right back, Jeremy Frimpong, man. I think
he's a stud.
He's going to be going somewhere big here soon.
I agree. And Bayer Leverkusen, if they keep their players, they're going to be really good for a while. If they don't, they're going to get a big payday. So either way, win-win for Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah. Saint-Gilloise were not very good in this game. Leverkusen were brilliant. And it was just a bad night in Brussels for, a great competition for a team that really no one had really heard of before now.
Yeah, honestly, and then great exposure for Boniface.
Yeah.
That forward for USG. I think he'll be getting picked up as well. He looks really good, like a threat going forward.
Yeah. Possible replacement for Ivan Toney, perhaps.
Kind of reminds me of Ivan Toney now that you say that. Just
a little bigger.
His stature, yeah.
Yeah. But same style of play. So, Brentford, you need a transfer guru. I'm right here.
You're the transfer guru. I'm the teams guru, apparently.
I can't pick games, but I can pick out talent. That's for sure.
There you go.
All right. Next up, Sporting and Juventus. This one was it was pretty good, but it was very cagey.
It was.
I picked Sporting, you picked Juve. And before this game even started, Juve got a huge boost when they won their appeal on their 15-point deduction, and it was put on pause. I thought it was reversed, but no, it's just on pause and probably won't happen until next season.
Yeah, there's going to be a further investigation into it, and it's likely that investigation won't end till this season's over.
Yeah. I mean, there's only, a month and a half, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyways, Wojciech Szczesny is able to start this one, which was good news after heart palpitations in the last one. And then Adrian Rabiot put Juve up on the 9th minute.
Yeah, it was kind of bouncing around in the box. He was just the one to poke it home.
Yeah, he scores a lot of those, though.
He does.
Kind of crazy for a center.
Ugly goals just right there, right time.
Good for him.
They all count, though, right?
Yeah. And then Rabiot on the other end. Sporting got a PK off a rash challenge from Mr. Rabiot himself, and Marcus Edwards put that penalty away right down the middle on 20th minute. And that's when it started getting interesting. Juve only up 2-1, and that's also when it started getting cagey. Sporting had a lot of really good opportunities, but they fell to the wrong people with Sebastian Coates getting 2 great opportunities late on. First one wide open, simple finish needed, skied it over the net.
Yeah, he had one really bad one. I don't remember if it was that one or if there was another one after it.
Yeah.
Wide open.
It was that one, and then the other one, he kind of bobbled the ball across the goal, but no one was there to really tap it in.
But yeah, I mean, your center back, that's not where you want to see him.
No. But I will say, all credit where credit is due, Paul Pogba was fantastic in this game, showing really why Juve went and got him again.
Well, good. He needs to do something, man.
Yeah. Next up, the one we probably laughed the most at, Sevilla and Manchester United. We both had originally picked United, and I changed my mind. And I'm glad I did, because Sevilla won this 3-0. And what would have been for United if they didn't shoot themselves in the foot for this one, scoring more own goals than Sevilla did goals in this tie.
Well, I mean, this game was mistakes. I mean, David De Gea had a couple howlers, man.
So bad.
So the first one, he tries to pass it out to Harry Maguire, who's got three, attacking players around him. And he passes it to Maguire, immediately putting him in trouble. And he tries to pass it first time, but it gets blocked. But yeah,
easy tapping. Yeah.
Yeah, David De Gea needs to recognize, those players around Maguire and maybe pass to someone on the wing.
I was watching the replay. Maguire actually called for the ball too. So,
but still, as the goalie, you can see the whole field. Maguire can't see what's behind him.
Boot it out, if that's the case. Luak Balde made it 2-0 just after the half with a beautiful header off of a corner by Ivan Rakitic. And then Sevilla should have made it 3-0 off of a corner, but somehow United kept the ball out of the net. It was a wild pinball.
I don't know how that didn't go in.
I don't know either. But they eventually did make it 3-0. More shambolic defending by United. De Gea tried to settle the clearance.
I don't know what he tried to do. Was he trying to clear it? Was he trying to trap it?
It looked like he was trying to trap it, and the ball just went right underneath his foot. I don't know. Either way, it was terrible. It was already beyond doubt at that point. And yeah, United, the makers of their own demise over the 2 ties. And now they're out of Europe.
You were right about United this week, though, man. You had a feeling they'd lose to Sevilla, and then you had a feeling they'd beat Brighton in that FA Cup semifinal.
Yeah, and we'll get to that, but that wasn't pretty either. So semifinals of the Europa League to be played May 11th and 18th. We got Sevilla against Juventus and Bayer Leverkusen against AS Roma with some tasty ties coming up. And Sevilla, the perennial Europa League, I don't know. What do you call it? Forever winners? They seem to win it more times than they lose it.
Finalists, I guess, always in the final.
Yeah. So, I guess you know who I'm picking.
Sevilla.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the Premier League. On the 21st, we had Arsenal against Southampton. Took me a couple of days to even be able to talk about this one. We both picked Arsenal. This one ended in a 3-3 draw. Arsenal did secure Champions League qualification after Spurs lost, so happy St. Tottenham's Day. But inside of 30 seconds, Southampton were up after a terrible giveaway by Aaron Ramsdale.
Pretty much same situation as De Gea trying to pass it to Maguire. Ramsdale tried to pass it out, and Alcaraz was kind of hiding behind.
I guess so. Peekaboo.
Poor decision by Ramsdale.
Yeah, and to make things worse, Martin Odegaard with poor giveaway and poor defensive positioning from Gabriel allows Theo Walcott to get in. So after 14 minutes, Arsenal down 2-0. They get one back through the 20th minute when Bukayo Saka beats his man down the line, crosses it. Martinelli with a sweet volley, puts it home.
That was a nice finish. Yeah, not easy.
And it was almost 2-2 before half with Carlos Alcaraz having a goal line clearance right before halftime.
Yeah, it was a header. I think it was off a corner.
Yeah. And then against the run of play, off corner, was it Duje?
Celtic car. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, 66 minute, flicked off a header, headed the ball in the net, 3-1. And it was all doom and gloom for all of us Arsenal fans. But Arsenal still had some fight in them. Martin Odegaard with a long-range effort in the 88th minute. Bukayo Saka tied the game in the 90th. And then Leandro Trossard hits the crossbar. Trying to create something out of nothing in extra time. I mean, honestly, there could have been 25 minutes of extra time in this one, but there was only, 8?
That's still a good amount, honestly.
Yeah. So Arsenal dropping points for the third game in a row with another draw, giving up multiple goals. Not looking good for the title challenge. And we'll get more into that when we get to the big one. Till then, on the 22nd, we had Fulham against Leeds. You pick Leeds, I pick Fulham. Fulham win this one 2-1. So Fulham seemed to be my team that actually makes me right. Second week in a row, I picked them. Second week in a row, they get a win.
Anthony Robinson looked really good for Fulham in this game, man. He was getting down that left-hand side, putting in fantastic crosses. I think he was the man of the match in that game.
Yeah. I mean, he did fantastically. I love his speed on the wing there, too. He loves to take on a player. U.S. have a great outside back on their hands. Just can they support with the rest of the squad, as U.S. always does. So Harry Wilson started the scoring in the 58th minute. Anthony Robertson with the ball across. Poor clearance from Ian Meslier.
Yeah, he kind of tried to come out and hit the cross, and he didn't hit it very hard, and he fell right to a Fulham player.
Yeah. Then Fulham doubled the lead through Andres Pereira in the 72nd. Goalie came out, missed the ball on the cross. Pereira put it in. Leeds got one back in the 79th through a João Paulinho own goal, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, Leeds are in trouble, man. Yeah. They do not look good right now.
But good news for them. They have some big games in that relegation fight coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Next up, we had Brentford against Aston Villa. You picked a draw. I picked Villa. You were right. 1-1 was the score. Emi Martinez with a nice save on Ivan Toney in the 35th minute. Emi did get injured in this one, and he was subbed off. Kevin Schade with a horrendous miss after going around the goalie and then shanked it, man. What do you think of that one?
It was so bad because he made it around the goalie, and then he just slices it. Just completely missed the goal.
Kingdom come, man. That was
did
bad.
The hard part.
Yeah. Ivan Toney scored in the 65th minute after getting on the end of a cross to continue his hot streak. And then Douglas Luiz got the equalizer in the 87th minute. Brentford thought they had a winner in the 90th minute, but it was offsides. And it all ends square. Speaking of square.
So 1-1 Villa keeps them kind of hunting there with Tottenham. They're still in 6th place.
I mean, picking up a point 10th. And Tottenham keep losing. So they're gaining ground either way. Next up, we had Crystal Palace against Everton. This one ended 0-0. We both picked Palace.
I know. I originally had a draw. I should have stuck with that gut.
You did.
But you kind of convinced me on Palace the way they've been playing.
Yeah, and the way Everton's been playing away from home too. It just made sense. But Eze had a goal taken back in the 57th minute due to offsides. Mason Holgate got a red card on the 80th with 2 yellows. And both goalies had a couple good saves, but a lot of missed chances in this one.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're Everton, I think you're happy with that result. You keep a clean sheet away from home. You know, looking at the bottom of the table, Everton dropped into the relegation zone. They're in 18th. But honestly, I think they'll get out of it. I'm still, honestly, I'm fancying Leeds, I think, to go down now. Their defense just sucks, dude. They cannot keep goals out.
They can't. Especially looking at the teams around them. You know, Bournemouth's been on good form. West Ham's been on fire lately. Crystal Palace have picking up points left and right. Just Leeds and Leicester, man. It's got to do better than one of them. Everton's safe.
I think they will. Honestly, I think Leeds. Leeds don't really have an identity of how they're gonna play. Like you remember we were talking about them, and I was high on them right when Jesse March took over. They were fun, playing attractive football. It's like they're trying to do that still, but then they can't defend at the same time. Like they're trying to go forward all the time, but they're not a good enough team for that. And so, I mean, we obviously saw that against Crystal Palace and Liverpool a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
5-6 goals get put behind them.
Yeah, and they with attacking, you also have to, make sure that you stay, positionally sound, especially on defense, and they just push too many people forward and get caught every single time. So they gotta figure that out fast. Otherwise, it's like gonna be all doom and gloom for them. They only got 6 games left.
It's like they're still trying to play that Bielsa ball without him, and they can't, man. They got to focus on that keeping clean sheets right now.
Yeah, and I mean they have a good enough squad to try to catch teams on the counter too.
I don't think they do, man. I really don't. Maybe going forward they have a good enough squad, but defensively, I mean, those are championship players.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, we had Leicester City against Wolves. You picked Leicester, and I picked Wolves. Leicester City win this one, getting a huge 3 points at home, winning 2-1.
Told you, man, that new manager bounce.
It just came 2 weeks. 2 weeks after the
game
fact.
Late.
Yeah, Mario Lemine steals the ball from Yuri Tielemans.
Lamina, sorry, I forgot to put the A there.
God, making me look bad. I should have known better though. Like who's this Mario Lemine character? Mario Lemina steals the ball from Yuri Tielemans. Ball falls to Matthias Cunha, and he gets a fantastic finish in the 13th minute to put Wolves up. And then it seemed to be all Leicester from there. Jamie Vardy brought down by Jose Sa in the box, and
stepped right on his
Iheanacho scored in the 37th minute off the following penalty kick. And then Timothy Castagna got the winner in the 75th minute. Leicester could have had a lot more in this one.
Yeah, so the first goal, Tielemans, man, was just a poor giveaway. He gets caught on the ball. Kind of those, he was already in his defensive half, gets caught, ball turns around. I mean, Cunha still had a lot to do, don't get me wrong, and it was a lovely finish.
Yeah.
That second goal was just, it was a blatant foul. But it was interesting, man. It's Dean Smith, right? That's the coach?
Mm-hmm.
He went with a very offensive lineup. I mean, starting Jamie Vardy, Kalichi Iheanacho, Patson Daka, all those guys were on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to at this point, right? It's either you get promoted or you lose the rest of your games and get relegated. Or not promoted, but you stay in the Premier League or you get relegated. Like, you have to go for it at this point in the season. And it worked out.
It paid off for him, yeah.
Next up, we had Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. We both picked Liverpool, and Liverpool barely scraped through with a win, winning 3-2. All the goals came in the second half. So if you're going to watch this game, just start at the second half. Because 5 goals. Crazy. Diogo Jota got goals in the 47th and 55th. Forest got goals by Nico Williams, a deflected shot in the 51st, and Morgan Gibbs-White got one as well. And then Mo Salah got the winner, which his form of late seems inevitable.
So yeah, this game, man, set pieces. So out of those 5 goals, 4 of them came from set pieces.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wish, after watching this game, I think Forrest deserved something from that game. The way Steve Cooper set his team out there, it was brilliant. Because he didn't start Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson came on off the bench. But I think he was kind of seeing how this game would play out for 60 minutes, is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I think he was just trying to, if we can go 0-0, and after 60 minutes, then try to go for it. I think that's what he was trying to do. But it was just tough, man. Every time they'd score, Liverpool would score. And so they had a tough time, but they were matching up well in the midfield in this game. Because, I mean, he knew Trent was going to come into the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he set his midfield up, man, it was just, he had them matched up perfectly. So they didn't dominate the midfield.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, that's what Liverpool needs to do to be able to get results in games. And I mean, credit to Nottingham Forest. They put up a good fight.
And I did like that from again, the coach, man, trying something different.
Yeah.
Versus putting the same lineup out week in, week out. He tried to do something different to get a result.
Yeah.
And so you got to respect that.
Yeah. I mean, they're sitting in 19th. They're only 1 point away from safety. You got to try something at this point, especially with all the players he has at his disposal. They're 25 signings they had this season?
However many. It was a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. All right. On the 23rd, we had Bournemouth and West Ham. You picked a draw. I picked West Ham. This was 4-0 to the Europa Conference League semifinalists in West Ham. Didn't think I would be saying that.
Yeah, this was a poor display by Bournemouth, man.
It was.
They did not look very
good.
Especially
after the last couple of games.
Yeah, and then playing at home as well.
Yeah. Mikel Antonio got a header in the 5th minute. Lucas Paqueta got a header in the 12th minute. Declan Rice with another goal. Makes it 2-2 games for him in the 43rd. And then Olivier Giroud-esque Pablo Fornals with an improvised scorpion kick in the 72nd minute. It was nowhere near as impressive as Olivier Giroud, but it still went in.
Yeah, it did. You picked West Ham, and then credit to West Ham, man. They played good. I think David Moyes, they jumped up into 13th place.
Yeah, they got a game in hand on almost every team above them.
Good job, David Moyes.
Yeah.
I'm curious what West Ham does this summer if they keep David Moyes.
Yeah. We'll see. It's so hit or miss with him, because when they play well, they play really well. And when they don't, they're awful. And the squad they have, they should be nowhere near 13th place or even the relegation zone for half the season. It makes no sense to me.
Like I said, I'll be curious what they do if they go out and try to find a new manager. If he keeps up this, 4-0 wins, then I'm sure they do keep him.
Yeah, and they'll be above Chelsea before they know it. So, all right, let's preview the midweek games this week. We have today.
Got one more, man.
Newcastle and Tottenham. I didn't want to skip the best one. Come on. Yeah, Newcastle and Tottenham. I somehow picked a draw on this one. Should have went with my gut and gone with Newcastle. You did. Newcastle absolutely hammering Tottenham Hotspur, and Spurs are making Antonio Conte look right.
They really are.
They lose 6-1. Newcastle with 5 goals in 22 minutes to start this game. 2 from Jacob Murphy and Alexander Isak, and Joelinton also got one.
So this was a mix of poor defending, nice finishing. It was all over the board for Tottenham, man. They looked bad, real bad. No fight, no character. After I think it was like 4 goals, the coach made a change because they went 4 at the back for this one, which they haven't been playing like that for the past month, 3 months probably.
3 months, probably more. Yeah.
And so then he switched up the formation, went 3 at the back, and it was bad. Newcastle just high pressed them, more energetic, just wanted that ball more.
Yeah. Are you more impressed from Newcastle in this game or more disappointed in Tottenham's performance?
I think more disappointed in Tottenham's performance just from the way the players were on the field.
Yeah, their body language said it all. They all looked downtrodden, uninspired. I think uninspired.
But it was like that from the first whistle, man.
Yeah, literally.
It wasn't after 3-4 goals.
No.
It was right away. They just didn't look up to the races, and Newcastle did.
Which is crazy because Tottenham's playing 1 game a week right now.
And this was like a battle for 4th place.
Yeah.
Tottenham needed to win this game, and they just crumbled.
Yeah, and Spurs have an awfully tough schedule coming up. So, and Newcastle don't have easy games coming up either, but Tottenham, man, it's going to take a miracle for them at this point to make it up into 4th place and maybe even keep 5th at this rate.
I don't think they make it into 4th. Not at all.
No, but the way they're playing, I don't know if they'll make it into the top 7. They keep dropping points like this.
Because they play Liverpool next, I'm pretty sure, don't
they? Yeah.
Which that's going to be a big game too for Liverpool, because if they can get a win, they'll be tied on points then with Tottenham.
With a game in hand.
I think we could see this Tottenham team crumble here at the end of the season. Like you said, could potentially be dropping down into that 6th, 7th position.
It's gonna be nuts. So following that performance, with Harry Kane getting the only goal for Spurs in this one, and Callum Wilson made it 6 in the 67th minute, Spurs fired Christian Stellini after this match. Ryan Mason taking over. Just going from bad to worse for them.
Yeah, my thoughts on this are Stellini, not sure why they kept him around, because it was Antonio Conte's, second guy. Of course, they're going to play the same way. You're not going to get anything different with him than you would have with Antonio Conte.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they need to find someone, and they need to find the right person.
Yeah, and now.
Because you kind of look at these teams that have found the right managers. Manchester United, they found Erik ten Hag, and he's done great for them. They're in 4th place right now. They got in a League Cup. They're in an FA Cup final. Aston Villa with Unai Emery.
Oh, knocked it out of the park. Went from 16th.
They found the right manager with him.
6th, yeah.
But then you look at teams that didn't find a right manager. Chelsea. Look where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got to be careful.
It's a fine line.
Who they hire. Because I think it needs to be that right manager, not another, kind of plug and fix type of scenario. Someone that's going to be there for 2+ years at least.
If you could say a name right now that would make perfect sense for Tottenham Hotspur, who would it be?
Julian Nagelsmann.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah. A young coach, bright future, very good tactician. And he's one for the
someone
future
to go in there and change the culture of that club, man.
Yeah. I'm unsure if Nagelsmann is the person to change the full culture of the club.
Well, that's the thing, is I don't know of a manager that could do that. I mean, that's going to take a long interview process of talking to one of these coaches.
Not only that, it's also having a coach say yes to Tottenham Hotspur.
I think a coach says yes.
One that can change the whole dressing room and the dynamics of the club?
Well, again, what kind of a coach would it be? The only coach I can really think of that could actually do that would be Zinedine Zidane, off the top of my head, without interviewing any of these coaches. And you're right, I don't think he would want to go to a Tottenham.
No. Luis Enrique, maybe.
But I mean, let's look at Newcastle, for example. Do you think, given the chance last year, Tottenham would have taken Eddie Howe?
No.
So there's an example of a manager who's gone into a club, created a culture. I mean, let's look at Jacob Murphy for Newcastle. He scored 2 goals this weekend.
He's been on fire of late.
When you think of that Newcastle squad lately, though, would he even be in your top 15 players?
No, not even close.
And so I think you got to give it to Eddie Howe, creating that culture at Newcastle, allowing players like Jacob Murphy to flourish.
Yeah. I mean, even look at how much Miggy Almiron's improved this season.
And then also finding a player like that who, you're not going to get spectacular stuff out of him, but it's a player that's going to put in the work.
100%.
Which at Tottenham, those players aren't putting in the work. And these are international players, man. We have World Cup winners on that team in Romero and Hugo Lloris.
Yeah. You have arguably, some would say, one of the greatest strikers of all time for England, and Harry Kane.
I mean, Harry Kane, yeah, you got Son is an international. Højbjerg is an international.
Kulusevski, yeah. So they have too good of a squad to be this bad.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So before we dilly-dally anymore on this topic, maybe it's one for another time, but let's preview the midweek games on the 25th, which is today. Wolves against Crystal Palace.
Should be a good game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a draw.
Okay. After seeing the finishing of Crystal Palace in the last game, Wolves are at home. I'm going to go with Wolves. Next up, Aston Villa against Fulham.
Villa.
Yeah.
Scoring every game since Unai Emery's came in.
I wanted to pick Fulham again, but I can't. Aston Villa are too good right now. Fulham they won their last 2 games, but before that, they sucked. So, Aston Villa for me as well. And then the huge 6-pointer in the relegation battle, Leeds against Leicester. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Leicester, man.
Yeah, I think you made enough of a point about Leeds earlier and how much in trouble they are. Leicester getting a win finally. I don't see Leeds being up for this one.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a prediction. Between these two teams, whoever loses this game is going to get relegated.
I agree. Yeah. Because that leaves 5 games left for both teams. And slim pickings for points right now. It is a huge 6-pointer. On the 26th, Nottingham Forest against Brighton.
Oh, Brighton, man. They're playing so good.
One way only. Yeah.
I love watching Brighton, man. Yeah.
Brighton are my number 2 team this season behind Arsenal, but they probably are the most impressive as far as improvements this season versus where their ceiling is.
Someone posted in our Facebook group, he's looking for a team to kind of support. And, I think I commented like, oh, it's the way they play football. And for me, Brighton's my favorite team this season. I think the way they're playing, man.
Yeah, they are fun to watch. Next up, Chelsea against Brentford. This should be tasty.
I'm going to go with a draw.
Okay. And I'm going to go way outside the box here. I'm going to go with a Chelsea win. Mostly because of how bad Brentford is away from home. But I just think after watching Chelsea play Real Madrid in the second leg in the Champions League, they're making improvements game by game. I think this is the one for Frank Lampard. He finally gets a win.
How many now is it without a win? 4, 3?
I think it's 3. Yeah, 3 or 4. You include Champions League games. I think it's 4.
Yeah.
And then red hot West Ham take on Liverpool at the London Stadium.
Going Liverpool.
Ooh, I'm gonna go draw. West Ham are looking good right now. They got tons of momentum. I don't see Liverpool away from home. They're really bad away from home this season. I don't see them getting a result here. I'm going for draw. And congrats to West Ham again, semifinalists in the Europa Conference League. And then the big one, Targo. The big one for all the marbles, potentially.
I know, and I have to apologize to our listeners because we won't be able to record an episode after this game for a Thursday episode.
I know.
It's my fault. It won't be till next
We'll
Tuesday.
cover it. We'll cover it a week from today. And we'll get our thoughts and we'll digest it.
You can probably get our immediate reactions if you follow us on Instagram, TikTok.
Mm-hmm. So, Targo, let's start with the big question. Is this going to decide the title?
Yeah, it will. I mean, So here's the thing. Arsenal are in first place, 75 points, 32 games played. Man City are on 70 points with 30 games played. This is a must-win game for Arsenal now after they drew at Southampton. They have to go to the Etihad. They have to win.
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of the bottom line. We'll see how this Arsenal team does. They've started to crumble here a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely can see how badly they miss William Saliba. Game by game,
be missing him for this game as well.
Yeah. Granit Xhaka also out for this one. Apparent illness.
And this City team, man, they're good.
They're so good.
They're really good.
Yeah. Let's go with your prediction first before I talk about anything else.
I mean, I have to go with City, man.
I don't want to, but I'm going to go the same. I know we talked about it on the weekend, and I'm hoping with
not to pick,
the way that I miss picks all the time, I hope this is one that I miss. I hope and pray, and I will be yelling at the TV, begging the football gods for this one. But I don't see it. The way Arsenal have been playing, William Saliba out.
They're just not good defensively right now.
No, they're not. And Zinchenko's making mistakes left and right. If you're Mikel Arteta, do you put Zinchenko into the midfield for this one?
I wouldn't be surprised if Tierney starts.
Yeah, I would. I mean, Zinchenko is the most similar player to Granit Xhaka you have on that team. He already plays there. Probably a little more defensively. You cannot lose this game.
I just don't want to see Fabio Vieira in that starting lineup for Arsenal.
I don't either, and I feel like Zinchenko is just the obvious decision for center mid. He's going to play there most of the game anyways. So yeah, my opinion, if Arsenal lose, City win the title. They're already favorites because they win their 2 games in hand. They're in first place.
There's still hope, though, for you Arsenal fans. I mean, we saw 20th just tie first.
Yeah. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, man. This is the English Premier League. Any team can beat anyone any given day.
Yeah. Arsenal do have a tough schedule. They play Chelsea at home, Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Forest, and then Wolves. City play Fulham, West Ham, Leeds, Real Madrid, Everton, Real Madrid again, Chelsea, Brentford, and the Brighton game is to be determined when they play it. It is at the Amex. They play Brentford at home, so there's 2 opportunities for teams that are good at home to pick up points against them.
Out of that run-in, I think Man City will draw 1. I think they'll
at least, yeah.
I think they'll get a draw somewhere in there. But for Arsenal, I also look at that schedule and I see them dropping points the way they're currently playing. Now they could, all of a sudden go up a gear and start winning these games, but the way they're currently playing defensively, they are not good enough.
They definitely have it in them, which is like I'm hesitating to say they're out of it, but it's definitely City's to lose at this point.
I mean, you can look at the points and the games played. They're not out of it. They still hold their fate in their own hands, but
so we'll see.
I don't see them
City do have a lot of games left, and they're playing a lot of games. So maybe they drop a gear, or at least I'm praying they will. I don't think they will, but I'm praying they will.
I mean, injuries can happen.
Yeah. Erling Haaland gets hurt.
De Bruyne could go out.
Yeah.
Same for Arsenal, though. They could lose Odegaard or Saka.
I don't think Martinelli would be a terrible miss because of Trossard, but Saka or Odegaard or Gabriel Jesus again or Thomas Partey.
So a lot can happen between now and the end of the season. I think there's still a twist somewhere to be had.
100%.
We'll see where that twist comes at.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Let us know. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Let us know on one of those platforms. Let's get over the FA Cup semifinals. We're going to go through this quick. We got a lot of games to cover. Manchester City, Sheffield United. We both picked City. Riyad Mahrez with a hat trick.
City went 3-0 by 3 goals.
Yes, you did. Brighton and Manchester United. This one was 0-0 and ended 6-7 on penalty kicks with Manchester United winning. I picked United. You picked Brighton. I was hoping Brighton would win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were the better team, honestly. Brighton.
I do too. They deserve to win that game, and they're hard done to lose on penalty kicks, but that's what you get when you get to penalty kicks. Flip of a coin. Final will be played June 3rd. It is a Manchester derby, and fun fact, it's the first time a Manchester derby's ever been played in the FA Cup final.
All right, real quick, who's winning that FA Cup?
Manchester City. Off to La Liga, Targo. What we have?
All right. On April 22nd, we had Real Sociedad and Rayo Vallecano. That game ended 2-1. I picked Sociedad. You picked a draw.
I did. Sociedad surprised me getting 2 goals in this one.
I know, right? So Rayo actually scored first in the 57th minute through Isi Palazon, and Sociedad tied it up 2 minutes later through Alexander Sorloth. And it was an OG for the winner, man. Scored by Florian Lejeune.
Hate to see it, but it happens.
Yep, unlucky. On the 22nd, we also had Real Madrid against Celta Vigo. I picked Madrid. You also picked Madrid. Marco Asensio scored in the 42nd minute, assisted by none other than
Vinny Jr. He's on fire, man.
Assists every game, right?
Every game. It's nuts.
And then Eder Militao made it 2-0 in the 48th with a header from a corner. Who's that new youngster that plays for Celta Vigo? Vega? Gabby Vega?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he let Eder Militao go, man. He was not stopping him.
Yeah.
But, man, Camavinga is really impressing me for Real Madrid, playing left back.
Right?
He looks so good, man.
It's crazy to think he's what is he now? 20?
19, 20, whatever 19? He is.
Yeah. I might have to change my picks for the combined 11 for the Champions League and put Camavinga at left back.
Right. For our future episode we're doing, guys, FYI. But on Sunday, man, April 23rd, we had a big one.
Huge game.
Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. Barcelona win it 1-0. Imagine that. Deja vu, right? But I picked Atletico. You said a draw.
I did, and we were both wrong.
Man, Griezmann, he hit the underside of the crossbar 45 seconds into this one. I was so mad when that didn't go in.
What a strike
it was. A lovely strike, too. Yeah. First time. Oh. But the lone goal came from Ferran Torres in the 44th minute.
Yeah. I will say Rafinha did not have a great game.
He had a terrible miss, that's for sure.
Yeah, second half.
It was difficult, but still, man, you're getting paid millions of dollars. You play soccer every day. You should be able to.
Yeah, you're considered an elite world talent at a sport. You should be able to finish off things like that.
You know, if that's Lewandowski or Benzema, they're putting it in.
Oh, 100%.
But speaking of Lewandowski, man, he got put through on goal. The goalie came out and he tried to shoot it. How far out would you say he was?
I think how far out was he? Maybe
because he was
30 yards.
He was at least 30, 40 yards, something like that.
But he also missed the goal by almost 30, 40 yards.
He missed the goal quite a bit. But the goalie comes charging at him and he tries to, put it away. He had the easiest of square balls to, I think it was Rafinha.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have been alone with an open goal.
They're lucky they won that game because that would have went down as a what the hell moment.
Hugely missed chance.
Yeah. So Barcelona now up 11 points on Real Madrid. Real Madrid gaining 3 points on Atletico. And Sociedad.
That's good for Real Madrid. Needed that kind of cushion, I think.
They did. But Sociedad keeping the pressure on Atletico after they lose this one, and Sociedad pick up great points. Off to the Bundesliga. On 22nd, we had Mainz against Bayern Munich. Is Thomas Tuchel cursed? Mainz win this one 3-1. We both picked Bayern Munich, and they've won one game in 5 as Thomas Tuchel as the manager.
So I saw something. It was Thomas Tuchel has as many losses and what is this now? 5-6 games?
5 or 6 games as Julian Nagelsmann did up to that point.
No, it was like in 30 games or 28 games, something like that. It was
something stupid.
Something like that, but they had the same amount of losses.
Yeah. Huge result in the title race, I will say. Sadio Mane got the goal scoring started in the 29th minute. The last 25 minutes was all Mainz. They got goals in the 65th, 73rd, and 79th. And man, Jan Sommer looks like a shadow of what he was for Mönchengladbach.
Oh man, the shot, it went through his hands or something.
Well, not only that, I mean, the mistakes he made against Manchester City as well.
Terrible mistake by Sommer. And then I think the third goal in that game was a nice one. Sommer didn't have a chance. It was a golazo.
Yeah. But Bayern Munich dropping points again. See if Borussia Dortmund could pass them up into first place. And speaking of which, we have them next. Borussia Dortmund against Eintracht Frankfurt. You picked Dortmund. I said a draw, and man, were you right? Because they smoked Eintracht Frankfurt. 4-0 in this one. Jude Bellingham got scoring start in the 19th minute. Lovely turn and finish. Daniel Malin, 2 goals, 24th and 66. He's got 6 in 5 games. How has he impressed you so far?
He's on fire right now, dude. About time he started getting in form.
It's why they bought him, but he has not been showing up until now. And then Mats Hummels, he got on the score sheet as well, 41st minute with a header. And Dortmund jumping into first place on 60 points, 1 point ahead of Bayern Munich.
Bro, how terrible does Bayern Munich look right now? We'll fire Nagelsmann and hire Tuchel because we're in the Champions League, the DFL Pokal, and the Bundesliga. We want him to win us all 3. And dumped out of the Pokal, dumped out of the Champions League, and now you're in second place in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. Now they're diving. They're in trouble, man.
They need a striker.
I'm starting to rethink my position of them repeating again as champions.
They need a striker is what they need.
I know. They have so many wingers, and they play one up top.
They are missing Lewandowski.
Are they better off putting Mueller as a false 9 at this point? Or Musiala up front?
No, I would say they need to go buy a striker.
Well, they can't right now. I don't know. It's a mystery to me. Football makes no sense sometimes. With the amount of skill that Bayern Munich have, they should be able to beat teams like Mainz, not get beat 3-1 or lose 5 out of 6 games.
Credit to Mainz, though, man. That jumps them up into 7th, though.
Yeah.
The win over Dortmund. Or not Dortmund, Munich.
On the 23rd, we had Bayer Leverkusen against RB Leipzig.
I said Leipzig. Picked Leipzig to win.
Huh?
You always pick Leipzig to win.
I know. I love the way they play. But
I like the way Bayer Leverkusen play better.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, and you obviously like Leverkusen because you've been picking them a lot. And rightly so, because they win this one 2-0. Adam Holoznik.
Whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Scored in the 40th minute. Dominic Szoboszlai got a red card in the 85th. And then Nadim Miri, 86-minute penalty kick. Szoboszlai getting a red card, giving away a penalty kick as well. And that's all she wrote. Bayer Leverkusen are on fire right now.
Fire, dude. Straight fire.
What is it? I think it's 1 draw in their last 8 games in all competitions.
Yes, sir. They're in 6th place now.
6th place, jumping up. I mean, they're only 4 points back of Leipzig, and the way they've been dropping points, Leverkusen could very well make it all the way up into 4th place very soon, the way Freiburg's been playing as well.
Yeah, I could see that. I think how many games are left in the Bundesliga?
18 teams, so 36 games.
6 or 7?
Yeah, 6 or 7. I think 6.
They could.
Anything's possible. Speaking of top 4, Borussia Mönchengladbach against Union Berlin. You said a draw. I said a win for Union Berlin, and they got it done 1-0. Geraldo Becker with the lone goal in the 60th minute. And I'll be honest with you, this game was kind of dull.
I'll admit I didn't watch this game. I watched the highlights of it.
Yeah, same.
I did watch that Leipzig-Leverkusen game, though. That one was... Wanted to watch that one.
Yeah. I mean, it was about time I got one right. Come on.
Good job, man.
Thanks. Union Berlin, man. Underdog story. I'd love to see it. They're only 4 points behind Bayern Munich, by the way.
Are they real? They are. Wow.
Yeah. So, on that note, let's jump over to the Serie A. We had a big one to start off the weekend. On the 22nd, we had Lazio against Torino, and Lazio dropping points in this one.
They did.
We both picked Lazio. They lost 1-0. Ivan Ilic scored in the 43rd minute with a huge mistake by the goalie.
Oh, dude, that was one of those, you don't win the lottery if you don't play. A guy just took a shot and it. Goalkeeper completely fluffed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with that loss, could Napoli all but guarantee themselves the title? We'll see later. On 23rd, we had Empoli against Inter. You said Inter, and I said a draw if Lukaku starts, and I finally got it wrong.
Yeah,
Lukaku
you did.
started, Inter win 3-0, and Lukaku got 2 goals in the 48th and 76th. Lautaro Martinez with the other goal, assisted by Lukaku in the 88th minute.
Man.
And
this is what
was
Inter
the
fans have been
Lukaku
waiting for.
This is the Lukaku that Inter have been waiting for all season, and he finally showed up, which is great timing for them, especially with Juventus getting back up into third, adding those 15 points. It's gonna be a
Champions
wild
League
ride.
semifinal.
Oh yeah, that too, kind of important.
That's probably the big one. Yeah.
Playing their fierce rivals, AC Milan, is gonna be tasty. Speaking of AC Milan, they played Lecce. We both picked Milan, and Milan won 2-0. Lecce did hit the post in the 19th minute, but both goals were scored by none other than Rafael Leao, who is in tremendous form of late and looks like he could literally beat anybody. Scoring in the 40th and 74th minute.
He's so fast, dude. He's so fast.
He's so fast. And to have the dribbling ability to go with that speed, it doesn't look like anyone in the Serie A can keep up with him.
I want to see him go in a race with Mbappe.
That would be fun. Yeah. A couple players I'd like to see in that race, but those two primarily. And the second goal by Rafael Leao, what a great solo run.
A little deja vu from that Champions League game.
Yeah, but this time he scored it.
He did.
Passing it back to Olivier Giroud.
He did. He scored it, man. He's on fire right now.
He's so good. I love to watch him. Next up, we had newly in third place, Juventus against Napoli. This was a big one. You picked Juve. I went with Napoli. And all the way up until, well, the 90th minute, we thought we were both wrong. It was 0-0 till the 90th minute. Juve thought they had the winner.
Juve should have won, dude. They got robbed.
They got called for a foul in the build-up.
They got robbed. That was weak.
Yeah.
They called this foul, but it was like a ways before the goal. Like, it's like, how far back do they go? Like, are they trying to go back another 5 minutes, see a foul?
I don't know. The advantage rule is weird these days. I don't understand.
They got robbed, though. That should have been a goal. I think it was for Di Maria.
Yeah.
Robbed.
So in the 93rd minute, Napoli get a winner. Giacomo
Raspadori.
There you go. I probably would have said it the same, but thank you for helping me with that. He came on for Cavascelia.
He did.
And what an ending to the game. I mean, I don't think
volley too.
I think anyone deserved 3 points from this game, but Napoli got them, and they just padding their lead up by 19 points now on Lazio with that loss.
But Juve, as we mentioned, with the points restored, they're now in third on 59 points. 3 points ahead of Milan, who are in fourth.
Roma.
And Roma, who are in fifth, yeah.
Yep, 2 points behind Lazio, who are in second. I mean, this top four race is going to go down to the wire either way. I mean, Inter Milan sitting right there.
That's a good top four race.
Even Atalanta, they're 4 points back of AC Milan. Anything can happen, especially with what happened on the 24th, which was Atalanta against AS Roma. You picked a draw, and I picked Atalanta, and I got one right. Look at me go. 2 in a row. 3-1 Atalanta in this one. I mean, it was all Atalanta. Mario Pasalic put Atalanta up in the 39th minute with a nice volley. Rafael, Toloi doubled the home side's lead in the 74th with a clever finish off corner.
That was a lucky finish, man. Defender should have blocked it on the line.
Should have. He was clever.
And their third goalie, Rui Patricio, dude, I don't know what he was doing.
I don't know either. Poor mistake from him, but the game was pretty much out of reach before that. Lorenzo Pellegrini got one back in the 83rd minute with a wonderful strike, but this one was all Atalanta. They win 3-1. So, we're going to start something new. Should have done a long time ago, but, You've been kicking my butt so much, I wanted to make sure you got all the credit you deserved. So, out of 22 games, Targo, you got 14 right, which is 63%. It's pretty damn good.
That's passing. That's passing.
That's
right?
passing. I got 11, so I got 50%.
That's failing.
D minus. F plus plus. So we're going to start keeping tally. Targo is up 1-0 on me. Just for funsies. We're not actually going to do it for anything. Maybe a shotgun of beer on camera. I don't know.
No, dude, we should do it for whoever loses has to get the R9 Ronaldo World Cup haircut.
No.
Or loser has to wear a jersey of the other person's choice.
I'll do that one. Yep. Good luck finding a Tottenham jersey for me to wear.
I don't have a Tottenham jersey. I think I got a Manchester United.
I'd probably light it on fire while it was on my skin just to cleanse my skin. So, congratulations, Targo. You got the first one. Let's get into what was that?
Said thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get credit where credit's due. So let's get into the Manchester City and Arsenal combined 11. I know we're both dreading and looking forward to this game at the same time. So let's do a combined 11. You want to go first?
Yeah. Do you want me to just go through the whole list?
Yeah, just go ahead.
All right. My Manchester City Arsenal combined 11. At goalkeeper, I have Ederson. The guy can just play a ball out from the back. Don't get me wrong, Ramsdale's fantastic. That Liverpool game, he made some amazing saves.
Yeah, I will say Ederson is probably the best goalie in the world with his feet. I will say that. And Ramsdale's probably a better shot stopper, but that's pretty much the only thing he's better at than Ederson.
And so that's what I was going to say. We got to see the downside of Ramsdale here this past week against Southampton. And so that's why I'm going with Ederson at goalkeeper. At right back, I'm loving John Stones, man, at right back here these past couple months. He's been going into that midfield. You don't really expect that from John Stones, but he's been killing it.
Yeah, he's got some amazing goals of late, too.
He did score a really nice one here lately, yeah. My two center backs. I'm loving Manuel Akanji, man.
Dude, he's on fire.
He has played fantastic for Manchester City. Just slotted right in there. Goes about his business. You don't see a lot of mistakes from him. My other center back, William Saliba. Prior to getting injured, fantastic.
Same. Yeah, pretty much the same, right?
And I guess we're going by him. We're going with this lineup on players who, even if they're injured, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
So then my left back, I have Nathan Ake.
Again, another surprise this season, but he's been fantastic.
Because obviously, if I'm going with Pep style, John Stones is going into that midfield, and that's going to turn into a back three.
There you go.
My midfield, my three in midfield. Defensive midman, Rodri. The guy is class personified. He's been looking at making that position look easy for years now.
Yeah,
and I know
he's consistent. That is for sure.
Consistency. That's what I'm saying. I know Thomas Partey is having a fantastic season. Casemiro, a new player in the Premier League this year, is making it in that position look real good. But Rodri's just been doing it for years, man.
Yeah, he has to be the unsung hero of that Manchester City squad.
Oh, 100%. And then he comes out with bangers in the World Cup, dude, against Bayern Munich.
Yeah. World Cup, Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, whatever you want. When you need a goal, call Rodri.
For the spectacular goal.
Yeah.
And then my other two midfielders, Martin Odegaard and Kevin De Bruyne, man. The creativity in that midfield is insane.
Yeah, you have to pick both of them. The way they've both played this season is, De Bruyne, normal.
Again, sort of like Rodri does this every year, whereas Odegaard has had a huge step up this season. And then I got three up front. On the left, I went with Gabriel Martinelli. Debated between him and Jack Grealish, but Martinelli, dude, is putting in the goals. I think he's at 15 goals for the season.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
15 goals, 5 assists, something like that.
Yeah. He's in 5th place in the Golden Boot race. It's not going to be a competition. Holland's got it, but good to see a winger getting up there.
It is, and man, he's also had a huge step up from last season, where I think he scored probably what 5-6 goals last year.
I think it was 8 or 9, but either way, yeah, most he's ever had in a campaign.
So big step up for him. On the right, should be pretty obvious. Bukayo Saka, man, I love Bukayo Saka. He's, he showed it in this game against Southampton with a goal and an assist. He's just fantastic. Great winger. Makes good choices, I would say, on the ball.
Yeah, I love watching him play too because he doesn't do anything fancy. He just literally takes fast touches and waits for the defender to commit his body in one direction and then just beats him.
And you don't know which way he's going to go. He's going to go, down the line, or is he going to cut in on his left?
You don't want him to do either one because he'll bite you in the butt either way.
That's right. And then obviously my striker, the robot himself, Erling Haaland. Guy's a goal machine.
Yeah.
Goal machine, knows where to be at all times. He's strong, physical.
Yeah, he does have that innate sense of the ball is going to be here.
Probably the best striker in the world right now.
Yeah. I have a question for you later, but we'll get there when I'm done with my list.
All right. Well, that is my combined 11. What does your Manchester City Arsenal combined 11 look like?
All right. In goal, I went with Aaron Ramsdale. I just love the guy. I love the guy. His shot stopping ability is second to none, honestly. He does struggle with his feet a little bit. So I did have an internal debate about who I was going to choose, but I went with Aaron Ramsdale. Right back, I went with Ben White. He has been so good at right back this season, and I would say arguably the best right back in the Premier League.
Kieran Trippier might have something to say about that.
I know. That's why I said arguably. Center backs, mine are exactly the same. William Saliba and Manuel Akanji. Both of them have just been so consistent when they play this season. They seem unbeatable. Like, you cannot get past them. It's fantastic to see from a center back in a league where scoring just comes so easy to some teams. Left back, I'm going to go with Zinchenko.
Zinchenko, yeah.
Yeah, he's been very, very, very good this season.
He's good going forward, but defensively, he's
struggled the last couple of games defensively, but between the two teams, I think Manchester City lost a real gem on this one. And I also went with 3 in midfield. In my defensive mid, I went with Thomas Partey. In my opinion, he's the best defensive midfielder, all-around defensive midfielder in the Premier League.
I would give it to Rodri.
Rodri is the most consistent, but I think Thomas Partey is that good. Center mids,
season, like last season.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Rodri.
I'm just talking about this season. And prior to this season, I would not have put Ben White as my right back either.
That's true. So. That's true.
Center mids, I went with the same: Martin Odegaard, Kevin De Bruyne.
Got to pick them. Man.
Two best midfielders in the league right now. Both of them will probably be near that top of the discussion for player of the season.
I will admit, I really wanted to put Bernardo Silva in my lineup.
I did too. I couldn't find
where to put him, man.
It pissed me off. I love watching him.
Yeah.
I too went with 3 up front. I got the little Chile, Bukayo Saka on right wing. Not only is he a great player, but man, is he a cool person.
He does seem like a really nice
guy. So humble, so down to earth. I want to say innocent, but who knows these days. And left wing, Gabriel Martinelli. He's been on fire this season. I will give credit to Jack Grealish. He is much better this season, but beginning of the season, second half of the season has been fantastic. Yeah. And then Erling Haaland up front. And that brings me to my question for you.
All right.
Wayne Rooney said it earlier today. Is Erling Haaland the best player on planet Earth right now?
Player, no. Finisher, yes.
I'm going to go with he is the best player on planet Earth right now.
Really?
I'm going to say it. He's unstoppable, it seems like. I mean, Messi has something to say about that.
I was going to say, so you have a team.
He's also playing in France and did nothing in the Champions League.
So you're picking a team here. You're playing in the Champions League final. You look at your bench and you have Lionel Messi or Erling Haaland sitting there.
I'm putting on Haaland, 100%.
You're putting on Haaland.
Yeah, because I know I'm going to get a goal. That one's tougher. I think
they're different players for sure.
They're all different players, but Erling Haaland, man, he's so good right now.
Oh, don't get me wrong, he's fantastic.
So good.
But that's how I look at it. Is you're playing in the Champions League final. You got Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland sitting on your bench. Which one are you throwing on?
I probably still Erling Haaland.
Okay.
Yeah. That also depends who I have on the field. So that's the problem. It's the players around him. It's a team of 11, not one. So
I think Mbappe is a team of one.
Yeah, he certainly seems like it. So, yeah, Erling Haaland. Man, is he good.
Fantastic. So, yeah, that brings us to the end of this episode, guys. We appreciate you listening. Make sure to check out our socials, TikTok, Instagram. Get on the Facebook group. Ask some questions. We love to answer them. And keep up with all the local news because we usually post breaking stuff there pretty quick. If you missed a goal, you can usually find all the best goals of the weekend on our Instagram story. Don't forget to check out the Red Bubble. Get the merch. We got some awesome stickers, t-shirts, whatever you guys want. It's there. And on that note, that brings us to the end of this episode. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.